So we will try to add that private subnet we have created to our private route table. So go to subnet associations and then associate that subnet with this route table. So check the private subnet too and then save. Another thing we have to edit is the route propagation. So go to the route propagation and then enable the propagation on this route type. So once we enable it, then a new route would be added to our routes. So any traffic that is destinated to this CIDR block go to the virtual private gateway. Now we will launch our two master nodes. Scroll down. You can either each instance put it in its own subnet, or you can put both of them in the same subnet. It does not matter as long as they are reside in the same subnet. But for a high availability reason, we have to create each instance in a different subnet that reside in different availability zone. So here you see the benefits of using the high availability and to put the instance in different availability zone. So because of natural disaster, so for to do not lose the control on both of the instance, it's better to put them in separate availability zone. So the first one, I'm going to put it on my first private subnet. As you can see, that auto assign public IP is not enabled because in this subnet I don't want to give our EC2 instance a public IP address. I want them to be accessible only from within the VPC. Then add storage, add a tag, give it a name, and for the value I will give it master 1. Then configure security. You have already created this security group that has these roles to allow all the TCP ports. So make sure to do not do this in production environment. To open only the ports that you are going to use and the SSH as well, because I want to SSH to my instance through the bastion. That's why I have opened the port 22. And here in the source you can change it. For example, here in the source I want to allow only the CIDR block to be able to make an SSH connection to my SSH, or sorry, to my instance. And here, yes, the same thing, because this port is opened only because only when you like to join your master node in your second master node or your worker node. So review and launch. Scroll down, launch, and then choose the key pair and launch instance. Then launch the second instance, and it should have the same configuration as the other one, at least 2 CPU and 4 gigabytes of memory. So scroll down here, I will choose the T2 medium, configure the instance, then choose my VPC, then my second private subnet. The name master 2. Sorry, you have to select security group, review and launch, and then choose select key pair, then launch the instance. I will need another extra 2 instance, one that we will use it as our load balancer, right? Here, and the other one, it will be the admin, will be our administrator of the cluster, so to centralize the connection to it. So when the administrator wants to create pod or deployment, it does not need to come to choose one master node and then create deployment through it. But instead, we will have here another instance that will have or will has the configuration of our master node, the configuration that reside under etc kubernetes /admin.conf. Will copy it under the directory in the admin EC2 instance under the home.kube/config. Then we will install on that instance kubectl to be able to interact with our cluster. So once I have launched 2 masters, I will launch 2 other instance. I will use the default configuration to public subnet 1 add storage, add tag, configure security group. I will use the same security group. Review and launch. And then launch the instance.